call the Cheney Park Board to order. We'll start off with roll call. Let's see, Shelby, Babcock. Here. Colin. Randall. Here. Bug. Berger. Yep. And Valencia are here at the moment. Then we'll roll into citizen participation. If anyone has any comments from the public or online? Does not appear to be so. And we don't have a quorum, so we'll skip minutes for now. We'll go on to information items, and we'll start with Mary Grover.
Actually, I was just going to be here to answer questions. I don't really have much of an update because you guys are all doing all the work. So you guys probably know better than I do what's happening in the parks. So.
Does anyone have?
I know we're working with Todd. You're going to bring this up to fix the slide on the side. The swing broke. Right?
The swing's fixed.
It is fixed.
Yep.
Just the chain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does anyone?
Other than that, full speed ahead. Cool.
Does anyone have any questions for Mary Grover? Okay. Then we'll go to Dan for an aquatics update.
Okay, so there's 4 of these. We can share. So, May 30th was our date for substantial completion, which the contractors did not meet, and so we had to send them a formal notice that they were not meeting the contractual deadline, and we're waiting for a response still. And so a lot of this stuff is tempered by the fact that we don't have an official response, but we are meeting again tomorrow. The biggest challenge so far has been the pool contractor schedule. All the other subcontractors are pretty reliable. You can pretty much see that their schedules are meeting deadlines. Some progress. Okay, actually, well, another challenge right now is that the time it takes 21 days to cure concrete for certain things. And so the meeting ninja obstacle course, the climbing wall, the zip line, and potentially the diving board that may impact like application of those, making sure the concrete is formed hard enough to be able to use those. So that's something we'll find out more about. Some great progress though. New playground was approved at City Council last month, which is awesome. So we'll have a new playground at the park with a special surfacing, and then the old playground, which is purchased in 2019, to go to Hibbert Park. Nice. So it's a really big win-win there. So we'll look at this in a second, but much of the concrete around the pool has been poured, and it's really making the park look complete.
So when you say around, so all the walkways, that's all been poured then?
We'll go through these pictures, and it'll hopefully look good there. They're starting to fill the lap pools as soon as today. When I was there earlier, there was been rumored that this is happening for like a long time, but I think today might be the day they're going to start putting water in one of the pools. They're putting a liner in the leisure pool, which is like the most tedious, time-consuming process left. The water slides are nearly complete, as you can see. The reason why they're not fully complete is because they need a little work. It needs to be able to maneuver in that area. The inside of the building is about 90% finished, and that part will really start rapidly coming to a conclusion. We have a phone number, and we should be having a phone soon. Pool furniture is going to be delivered and assembled next week. Here's some guesses based on what we know. The building will be substantially complete by next Friday. That's just my best guess. The areas inside the fence will be substantially complete in the next 3 weeks. That would include separate landscaping and the new playground assembly. Curbs and sidewalks, asphalt pathways are going in here very soon. Adding the special pour-in-place surfacing in the street area very soon. That's going to be really cool because it's going to be like a turquoise color, and it'll like really add some nice color to the park. And then if I had to guess, like the best case scenario right now, like this is more like the spreading rumors at this point. But it's like June 28th, this would be sort of our best.
Okay, no rumor spreading.
And so some things that we talked about that had closure, we decided on single-day passes, 10-day passes, and season passes, but no family passes.
And so how can we decide to get family passes?
Well, one of the biggest advocates for it was the city of Walla Walla. They were actually the only advocate for it. And then when we talked to them about a month ago, they said, hey, can you give us some details? Like, whatever you do, don't do family passes. We're trying not to do family passes anymore. And it's because what is family? And it gets into this really tough logistical thing, like, well, you can't be family. And it's just, so anyway.
So they said that's bad.
They're trying to get out of it.
Because when people come in and can't, when they say, this is my family, it could be neighbors or.
Yeah, they became too tedious of a task for their staff members to try to get involved in that, so. It seemed like a good thing to sit off this year and then
That's
see
true.
how it works.
It doesn't have to be actually stoned.
Yeah. So
We've had a couple people inquire about them, and we told them that we're not doing family passes and just the season and 10 pass, and they're totally fine with it.
So when you say season pass, is that for the whole summer, and is it per person then?
Yes,
Okay.
It's a
So whatever kids you have, each one would have their own pass.
yes.
Okay.
And, let's see here, so accepting credit cards for concessions is the development. So Pool World will be here on site tomorrow to visit the site and help us with some recommendations. Our bather capacity is 480, but based off of some logistical things, including lifeguard numbers, that we may start off with a capacity of like 300 or so, just to sort of self-limit and ramp up. I'll let Kelly talk about lifeguard certifications if you want to, like the number of lifeguards or anything like that.
We've got 26 certified lifeguards right now, so about half of what our, a little more than half of what our original goal was. We're still conducting interviews, and there are people, we have probably about 15 to 20 more who we've hired, but they're still working on getting their certifications in. So within the next couple of weeks, I think we'll be pretty good to go when we open.
And then maybe another, on June 24th, there's a rumor that there might be a training on weather staff.
I didn't know that.
Okay, that is the rumor on the street, so.
So put it in your calendar.
So then, for the budget update, one of the neat things is we worked out a deal with Child Air Force Base. They'll start purchasing in sort of bulk quantities, starting next week, and then Kelly's opening, past registrations and everything next Monday too, right?
Yep.
So we'll start selling, getting people, getting some revenue from it too. So, we have one more change order, it looks like, it'll probably be around 150,000. And then, so it's just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. And most of it is like scope gap for like the electrician says they're supposed to do this, but the plumber says that they're not supposed to do it, so just like a miss by the design, basically. And then, so fundraising, we got a grant from TransCanada, Western States Caterpillar, we got a couple slide sponsors, Edward Jones, a generous contribution by our mayor for the spot there. And then we applied for some grants from the Seahawks Foundation and some other alliance that we did a presentation, and that's the it. If you guys want to look at pictures, you might kind of wrap up everything too.
Okay, I just wanted to show our guests here what you were talking about the area, this whole area right here is going to have these 10 things, and this won't be the same concrete. So it can be a different kind of surface.
Yeah.
Did we nix the shade structures?
Because it's not supposed to go on that surfacing. Yeah.
Okay.
But so the first page here is this shows the black pool. It's got the liner in it, and again, hopefully water. One of the things that's really challenging is for these pool workers that they're in this pool all day long, and it's just roasting, and they've got all this heavy garb on, and it was challenging. Don't envy that, but you can see that this pool here is looking pretty darn close to
This
ready
one
to
is
go.
deep.
Page 2 shows concrete. These are the decks. You can see that most of the concrete decks inside the building and the pools are poured. The third picture shows a view in between the lap pool and the leisure pool. And you can see that all the internal concrete has been poured in there. Fourth page shows the north part of the concrete poured, the north part of the deck being complete. The fifth picture shows the liner going in the leisure pool, which again is like, that's a big milestone. We need that process to really go rapidly.
Well, and so they had to pour more, I remember maybe it was when we walked through, we still had to pour to make the zero entry.
Yes, that's poured now, and that's
So that's
actually,
why
that's where they're covering it up right there where they're standing is the most shallow part.
Okay.
Of that entry.
0 entry, your baby's.
Next page
Just
shows
sit
the
there
water
with it.
slides. Almost finished.
See, they're chute slides, so they don't go into the pool.
No,
They'll
it's-
just
I know, I'm sure that out.
run out, once they get the concrete poured, then they put the chute on.
I'd love to.
And then
Okay, go ahead.
as long as we come to a stop.
Yeah, good.
Slide,
So,
eliminates the lifeguard spot.
the council approved receiving some fairly large gifts from some local businesses. And the cool thing about, the slides, Chris Holiday from Holiday Heating and Corey Ludermoser from Moser, they're also a media company. Those two, when they were kids, they used to ride their bikes back down here. And they're really, really good friends and they're very successful business owners now. They got together and they're each sponsoring each of the slides.
Oh,
right next to each other.
that's
Isn't that cool?
awesome.
Yeah, it's Chris Holiday on one side and then Corey on the other.
So
I think
now,
it's
do you put up
just such-
signs for that?
Yes, we're working on that right now. I think it's, like Moser slide and Holidays
Yeah.
or something like that.
Oh, that's.
So they're like competitive, like they both want the fastest slide.
It's just a cool
Yeah.
local sport.
That's really cool.
That's great.
So
You know who
they
they are?
should do a news article on that.
You know, we would like to get a press release going on that.
Yeah.
For sure, that's
That's
something we'll be sharing here next Wednesday, if you're ready, we'll hear that.
Now, so are you talking about the bottom of the slide, that's one that needs to be curated for 21 days? Is that what
No,
you're
the slide is fine, they're gonna pour that, the reason why, they just have to put the end of them out just so that they can drive around that area.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Pour coffee or something. But the next picture is the community room exterior. The next picture is,
Don't go so fast.
We're running out of time turning the pages.
Oh, okay. So this is a room that you can rent, parties and things.
We've already got
the next
rentals.
run is our
Huh?
pump room.
We've already got people
camera room,
renting
which
That's what I hear.
tons of pipes. The next room looks like it's the worst, but this is actually our lobby, and it's the only thing really standing in the way of it being a finished product, but they're gonna put siding and,
They should apply.
it's nearly complete too. The next picture shows what I think is the coolest office in the city. This is the lifeguard office, and it faces out towards, the slide.
Fun.
And next one shows what our restrooms look like with stone interior
That's
and.
cool.
Yeah, that wasn't in there when we were there before.
No.
It's really pretty.
Probably the latter
It looks
one.
really nice, it like, makes you wanna like have someone guard the inside there, you know, and that's.
I think people will take care of it, because it's great. And it's clean and it's
That
awesome.
sounds good. Community room,
If they don't, I'm gonna sleep there.
this is the lobby restroom.
That's it.
The universal changing room. The second to last picture shows what the receptionist was looking at, looks out into the community room and
That's
into the
nice.
entrance.
And so, who's gonna be, have you hired people to do the front desk?
We have aquatic hospitality is their title.
Oh, that's cool. I like it.
And the community room will be open year round for rentals too, right?
Yeah. And then the last page is the lifeguard room.
Awesome.
So cool.
So that's it, thanks for.
We're
Interjecting. So, what about so you're saying it's gonna be open the 28th?
We're hoping.
Okay. And so, is it, like, the grand opening is gonna be on the 28th?
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for.
Okay. The 28th, and then, and that's when we do the water walking?
Mhm. Yeah, that's why Ethan was reaching out about doing a demonstration of the water walking.
Okay, and so did you want it in the morning and afternoon? Because you have 2 open swims, right? One in the morning, one in the afternoon?
Yeah, that's completely up to you. We'll take you anytime you want.
Oh, okay.
Any more questions for Dan?
I had one, so there was a date when they had to be done, and if they weren't, they were liable to be, you could put them in the bill, it was like $5,000 a day or something like that.
Yes, $4,730 a day. Yeah.
Are we moving forward with that then?
Well, at this point, we're awaiting their response, and I know our representation has got a game plan. So they're really trying to do what's obviously in the best interest of moving this along for everyone.
Crazy as substantial.
Yeah. So and that's like, what, 11 days, we're like $45,000, whatever that is.
So when you contract them out, that's part of the contract, then when they sign it, it's that they'll be done by a certain date.
Or a face penalty. I think that's standard with any. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this up just one more time and then I'll comment about that. So in the lazy river, I know I've asked numerous times about having tubes in the river to float the river. And I understand that you don't want floaties like Aaron uses or anything else out in the big pool, because it makes it difficult to see about them. I've never been to a lazy river that didn't have tubes in it.
Did you go there where you had squawks at? They're not allowed in yet. Do you want me to tell you why?
Yes.
When I was a lifeguard, right? It was a facility kind of like this, we had the lap pool over here, and I was guarding at the slide, and I heard the long loud blast, and they took a kid out of the water that was as dark as that, he was black, coming out of like the color of that chair. And it was like, 4th of July, and the pool was covered with inner tubes and stuff like that.
Oh.
And the lifeguard just happened to be hot, so she jumped down and she walked across to the other side where she was going to guard, and she kicked something. And it was a little boy. And they brought him up, and the pool manager flipped that head back, started doing CPR, and he walked away from it. So I can totally see why they cannot allow tubes in a lazy river or any kind, because it's just, and every aquatic center, they don't allow it.
They use pool noodles.
Or the kids wear life jackets. Yeah. And I know you're probably thinking of like Sandpoint, what's the one up there?
Oh, you mean a silver one?
Yeah, so,
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've been to that one, at least 2 others. That was what we did. We floated the river on the morning and walked it up there against the current. But
that's the only reason.
and I totally get to why you don't want flotation devices anywhere else. But every lazy river I've been to had clear tubes. Just in the lazy river, period.
It'll be interesting too to see what our visibility is actually like when we get people in the water too and understand how the pool works a little better.
Oh, sure. Are there going to be pool noodles available?
We do not currently have pool noodles for people to use. But that's something that we can add in the future.
I mean, they're $1.48.
But those are those. They have to be the fat ones.
Okay, those are $3.
Yeah, those are useless. You ever tried to float on one of those?
If there's something to do in the water, I've done it, besides drown.
Well, don't do that.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? We got Paul for Dan?
You guys have any more questions? Thoughts?
Then we'll go on to review the aquatics operations manual.
Did anybody have feedback that they wanted to provide for that?
There was a question, not specific to me, but just on Facebook about the price for renting umbrellas.
What'd they say it was too expensive?
No, they just want to know what it was, and at that point in time, I didn't think I had the authority to say anything, so.
Oh, it's at $30 for the smaller umbrellas and 60 for the large.
Was that for the
Was it-
whole day or just?
It's for 3 hours, sorry, is it 60?
Yeah, that's what it
Okay.
said,
Yeah.
yeah. I knew what it was, I just
Yeah.
didn't want to blab it out there.
Yeah.
Because this was a couple weeks ago,
Well, it's also printed in our activity guide, so
Okay.
you can share it.
so now they can look it up.
So,
And can they make reservations now? Somebody wanted to do a birthday party.
Yeah, we do have an umbrella calendar that they can, we're set up online for them to make those reservations.
Similar to what other sections are about.
Yes, exactly, yeah, we did an area comparison for those two, and we're pretty much identical to Spokane County. Yeah. I think there'll be a premium too, like, there's not a ton of shade out there, there's 12 umbrellas, and we have capacity for 480 people, like, it's probably a good splurge every once in a while.
Okay, but let me get this straight. If there are umbrellas that are not being rented, they're available to just use.
Yeah, it's just if you want a guarantee, and it has a picnic table too for some of them, I don't know if we've got any with all of those, it's a pretty good deal.
Right. So otherwise, they're just first come, first served. They can't be set at all.
That's good.
We'll have to watch Jackie very closely. I'm thinking Jackie's gonna go and put her towel on everything.
No, it's annoying.
Yeah, you know, the process of how to reserve them, maybe drop the reserve sign or something.
You know, that's something I can't remember, we have it in the manual, but I believe that they typically do it, we have 30 minutes in between the two sessions, and that would be one of the things that they would do in between sessions or prior to, you have plenty of time for some.
Yeah, to put up a reserve sign.
That they can't walk off.
Yeah. Chain to the table.
Nothing else on the manual, on the dog park.
I don't have anything specifically for the dog park other than, just continuing to work on getting.
Did they ever get the nails? Did they get the machine up and running? This last time,
Todd purchased a magnet that can attach to tractor buckets, or to tractor forks. And the last I heard that he had asked for that to be fitted to our little side-by-sides instead. And I don't believe it's happened, and I'm not sure what the status is on that.
I haven't heard anything.
Whatever it is.
bad.
in the dog park, is the association still up and running?
Yes, but I'm trying to,
I hope it's, keep it up.
so like what are you looking for? Maybe,
When we dedicated the land, I think the agreement was, we dedicate this land, but
right.
operation of the dog park was originally gonna be.
Oh, and see, I thought we were supposed to give it back to you.
Well, that's what's happened. Unfortunately, we don't have, it's hard to find that much staff to take care of it, so, I mean, we're working on it, but I just didn't know if you still had a group of members that.
Oh, I'm
Go out
sure,
there.
cause last time I talked to, now I can't remember his name, city administrator. Mark, thank you. Yeah, that they were gonna take care of it. So I do have some money left and, you know, like and then we were gonna put, clover in there.
Yep, so I talked to Todd about that. just-
Yeah, to clover, so like to mow it or just to keep it clean?
Just in general, I didn't know if, I don't know if it's more people is what we need to help.
I think we could do that, if you're interested in something like that, I think we could pull something together that, where, they would, you know. And I mean, Tori's kind of done a good job, she's contacted you when there's stuff going on, but like to fix it,
Yeah, there's a fence that I think needs help, right?
yeah, so like stuff like that, that the city of Cheney would fix, or, I'm I guess we need to come up with
Well,
some.
we are, I mean, we're planning on fixing all that, but I just thought that we were just gonna get partnership between the city and that organization.
Yeah, and I
Come
do too, but
together.
then Mark, I thought he said it was all city that's.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we can
We can.
work together and decide how we're gonna do it.
How much, do you know how much money?
I've probably got $1,200 left, maybe 1,000. Yeah, I was trying to dissolve it, but maybe I shouldn't.
Well, no. we can talk about
Is this tax deductible?
Yes, it's a nonprofit. 501c. But I haven't done really much with it, you know, so it's kind of thinking. So,
Maybe we can use some of that to put towards maintenance or clover or a water
Yeah,
fountain
yeah.
or something.
anything that, yeah, we could use that money to, but I think the first thing we need to do is the nails.
Yeah.
So, and I meant to email Paul, after the city council meeting that they talked about it, and I just didn't do it, to see, you know, when they were gonna do it. Cause I kinda wanted to come watch, to see this machine that was gonna,
We did, like, yes, we do have the magnetic roller, it's just a matter of fix it, something, run through.
oh, okay. So they bought something that you can't put it on, this what you're saying, you know, I'm like,
Well, one of our staff members created the impression that it should be retro, like we should be able to fit it to our side by side. And so I'll try to get an update on that tomorrow, like if that's still a confident thing that we can do. It didn't seem like it would be that hard to adapt to something though. Yeah, it could be on a hitch too, yeah.
And I've talked with a couple of Boy Scouts, they're doing their Eagle project this summer, and their parents have those handheld walk. They said that they're one of their Eagle Scouts summer project.
oh, that'd be
I
awesome.
haven't engaged them yet, because I knew we got a big roller, I thought, wow, just take care of the big roller.
I know Paul had big plans of gazebos and park benches and,
We have all that.
oh, you have all that? Oh,
Yeah, but we need to get
The
the
clover.
ground leveled and the
Yeah.
clover planted before we can put
Right.
concrete in.
and I know that Todd was kind of talking about maybe portioning it off and do some and then open it up. I don't know, do you guys think it'd be better just to close the whole thing and just knock it out and get it done? I'm kind of wondering if that would be better to just knock out the whole thing and close it down for,
I don't think,
I've got a meeting with Todd first thing in the morning, so.
yeah, ask him, that would be awesome.
I don't think the public will be upset if we did that.
I don't think they would.
And I
either.
don't think that they'd abide by a part that's closed, staying off it.
That's probably, yeah, just close the whole thing, knock it out, get it done.
Yeah, because they know that it's gonna be better.
Right, right.
Anything else on the dog park? If not, on the action items, any board member reports?
I am hearing from a number of families concerns about the cost for the pool. In fact, I had two moms say, I would rather just put my kids in an Uber and send them into Spokane and save money, where they can go to a pool for free, or a water park for free. And so we are going to need to look at kind of how we want to affect that going forward. I know we've set it for this year, but I am hearing from a large number of people, that's way too much. And so I think we may want to just be cognizant of that as we move forward.
Have they indicated what they thought would be a fair price?
Well, a lot of them said, I'll go to Spokane where I can go into a water park for free. And when
They don't have a water park like we have. Is there one in Spokane that looks like our cool one?
they don't care how cool it is, they want their kids to cool off.
I see.
And when I brought up the alignment with what Airway Heights has, they said, yeah, but I have the use of the entire rec center for that day pass for the same amount. So I'm still getting a better bang for my buck in Airway. So I think it's something we need to really have a conversation about as we move forward to determine. if we
And
want to do
didn't
stuff.
Paul at one time, he was talking about getting splash pads.
throughout the city.
Yeah, and those would be free, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's a balance because we've paid for this and we have to pay for its upkeep and its maintenance and its operations, but I just think it's something we need to look at. We need to kind of do that break-even analysis of saying, if we were to bring the price down, could we get more people looking at capacity as well? But I'd just like to tee it up for a conversation as we move forward about how we may want to adjust that to make it a little more accessible for our families.
One thing, and that's a great thing to talk about for sure. We are trying to raise money for as many free days as possible this year, and so that'll be a really great thing that we'll continue to spend effort on to make it as accessible. We do have $7,000 for free swim lessons too, and so we're again trying to make it just as usable as possible. Because that's just the idea. I have 3 kids, I know like that adds up super quick.
I get it, I don't hear much about this other than when it's gonna open, but then when the pricing went out, I heard from a bunch of people in kids' schools saying, how is this gonna work? So, it's just something we need to be aware of.
Any other member reports? No, staff reports?
Just plugging along, getting staff hired for summer camp, and that's what Mandy's doing right now, is hosting staff training for summer camp out there, and hiring for lifeguards. We're starting training next week for the guards, so we'll be good to go when we start.
Did we ever do that partnership with Eastern and dorm rooms? No.
Yeah, Eastern didn't seem, when they looked more into it, it didn't really seem feasible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just curious. Anything else before we adjourn?
I did have one thing to say. I did have a local business who were approaching me about vending machines. And I don't have the details, but like hydration drinks and stuff. I don't know. I know we've got that's something that you guys would be interested in.
Right, is that
Is it the guy from Banner Bank, Chris?
No, it's Andy Lavole that owns West Coast. That's another business that we have.
Yeah.
I don't know the details, I'm just mentioning that. I'll just break it up.
We were seeking out, trying to find people that provide that service, because we talked about that as the worst case scenario, having vending machines out there, and we have only one person that provided us a quote, so.
Okay. I can connect with you one further.
I can take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can give you a call.
Thank you.
Maybe he can just come show you what he's talking about, because it seemed to be, it wasn't just a typical throw some quarters in and get, it was more open up like a refrigerator, grab it.
Oh, wow.
Here.
Oh.
You do pay for it at the end of the day, somehow. Again, I don't know, but
Okay. Interesting.
yeah, that would be kind of interesting. At least to track it
Down.
down, consider.
Do we have water fountains in the pool?
Yes, actually just on installed yesterday.
What did you ask?
Yeah, water fountains.
Oh,
How many?
There's one bottle or one, like traditional, one right in the middle of the pool deck, like it should go on for.
that's good.
Anything else? No objections, we'll adjourn the meeting and see you back next time.